Hey, Dad.
Good morning, son.
Okay, so some measurable progress, which is all I can really ask for. So I've got, I'm about to lay these entire engine covers and these wheel covers. This is the bottom rear of the airframe, and this is the upper rear of the airframe. The engine sits about right here. So, I'm doing it in reverse. I'm starting with the doors and all the movable bits. So I start with the door. I laid this up a couple days ago, and then I just laid this one up yesterday. So it comes out of the mold looking like that. And then
Nice.
I trim it back. Okay. And I've got this is the fuel door, and this is the engine access cover, and it will pull down, and it'll have two Hartwell latches here, and then a custom hinge here. It'll be based on an aircraft hinge, and then I'll make a custom D shape so that it folds out. And because it's a curved shape, you can't just use you can't use a straight hinge line there. So you do a D so that it clears the edge. Right. So here's the other edge, and it does this. Anyway, and then this is the gear door. Okay, this is the main gear door, made exactly the same way. And then that's how it comes out of the mold, and I'll trim that back. Now the idea here is that I have all of this scribed in the mold, and I'm going to tape them back into place with, like, I'm probably going to just use Gorilla Tape. All right, and I'll lay over onto the mold face as to the minimum amount that I can, probably try and keep it at about 1/8 of an inch. Just enough to keep it in place and to seal the backside from resin, right? And then we'll put a piece of plastic across the top of this. And then this all gets laid up on top of it. And that will mold the door in perfectly, and it will keep the gap, however many plies of tape I put down, that's the gap around the door, right? So when I pop this out, it will be completely molded, completely finished, and perfectly fitting. This is an addendum to the mold that I laid it up off of this side, okay, just like this. I just laid this one up. Okay, I laid this up here. Like this. So this is a splash of this shape. When we take this shape, we put it here. And then I put release tape down to account for the thickness of the materials. So I'll probably put 4 or maybe 6 plies of tape down here, and that will move that edge enough so that these two mate perfectly up against each other. This creates a flange. I lay all the way up into here, and then trim it back to 1 inch, and then we'll put mechanical fasteners on the bottom side. Now we'll put it on the top side, and then these mate together. So that's what it looks like raw, and this is what it looks like finished. And so this is basically what I'm going to do with the tape. Got about 6 plies. I'll play with this till I get the correct offset from the distance. Okay, because this is laid up on this side. This material thickness is the same as this material thickness, so one subtracts from the other, and this becomes the OML line for the other side. And I have to offset from that.
OLM?
OML, outer mold line.
Okay.
And then I've got to offset from the outer mold line enough so that when the other material thickness is here, we have a perfect fit. So that's what's next. I went through this. I've got some B-roll on it, but I've got all the prep here. I've got a couple of things to do. I got to clean this mold back up. Put 2 or 3 more coats of wax and PVA down on it, and then I will probably. I'm not going to get to this today. I'll probably get to this Monday, but I'll do this one first, and then I'll do that one. We'll evaluate what I did and adjust if I need to, and then I'll do those 2. Got a little bit of work to do on that one, though. When I laid this up yesterday, these hardware installations leaked, so I had to I had to deal with that in the bag. So I'm gonna roll this mold upside down and make sure they're sealed. And that's what I'm doing today.
Good.
Yep. Okay, the prep is done for the gear doors and the access door. This is the engine access door. There's one on either side. And this is the fuel door. All of the prep is finished for that. All the foam is done. And this is for the addendums that go here. They will be laid up here, and they will eventually go onto here. So actually these plies they get laid up on this one. So now I got to start thinking about these little bastards. These are the main bulkheads that are left. One of these I don't have to worry about. These curved bulkheads are they're part of the diffusion duct. One of them is the back wall of the diffusion duct, and the other is the front wall of the diffusion duct and the interior of the header tank. And then this part will have a bunch of uni come down in here and interface to the bottom of the fuselage and reinforce this area so that I get a really good load transition from the rear. This is the rear spar pass through, and then this will tie in the flange to the rear of the fuselage and just act as a strong load transition, because the load transition there is kind of sketchy. So this is really structurally necessary to make sure the back of the fuselage is properly tied to the front of the fuselage. And then this is a tail stringer, essentially. It lays horizontally in the tail and then picks up the aft portion of the fan casing here and the front portion down in here. So those are the last couple, and then I have to tool these up. I just haven't done these yet because there have been other things to do. But this is the front seat bulkhead 3D print. We got that one. I got this one, which is the rear seat. But these were laid out for a 1/4-inch core, and I'm not using a 1/4-inch core on the fuselage. I'm using 3/8, so I'll have to put some material in here. I'll have to put some of the... I'm not going to remake this mold. Probably will in the future, but I'm not going to do it right now. I will put sheet wax in here, 1/8-inch sheet wax, and make that a little... pick up that extra 1/8-inch. But these, I will probably ditch these and remake them properly. So, thinking ahead, process is doors, trim, tape the doors back in, and then lay up these outer skins with their addendums and their return flanges. I'm hoping to have all of this done next week. And then my next mission is canopy frame and the rollover structure and taking out the damn trash. Yeah, so canopy frame here. This layup is not as big as it looks, but frankly all of this is bigger than it looks. Yeah, it's a tiny airplane, but it's still a large object. The frame goes to about here, all the way down. Okay, just follows this line. The rest of this is just blown plexiglass. So it's actually not that much surface area. It's just a big mold, and then I'll do that trim it, put it back in there, and I'll probably lay up 4 or 5, 6 plies of glass into it to represent the shape of the canopy. Just in fiberglass. It'll be, you know, translucent, but it'll at least give that shape. That way I can work against that shape. Mostly because I just want to see it. And then it's time to pull this thing out 3 years later and start prepping it to make it. My son's coming in next month. I think we'll wait for that to happen. Get some of the lads back in here and we'll lay this up. Okay, gear door laminations coming in hot. I'm just going to do one side today, see how it goes. If I get lucky, I'm not going to get lucky. I'll try and do the other side today, but discretion is the better part of valor, and the way this shit happens, this is probably all I'm getting done today, and it will be enough. Calling it 3 hours, we'll see. 1220 gear door laminate is done. Engine compartment covered door is underway. Hard points and tapes around the edge. 3/8 core. 5 more laminates there, and then I've got to do the addendum, and then I'm out. Alright, that's full vacuum. That's the gear door, the core in it. That's as good as it gets. Fuel door. Engine compartment access door. Engine lives behind here. And these are the addendums that will go to the other side. Yeah, it all looks good. See how it comes out tomorrow. So the other set of doors, all the materials are prepped up. That is a main gear door, and it came out excellent. Under here is the other main gear. I'm keeping this bag. I'm going to reuse this. It'll save time on the backside. But that other gear door came out excellent. It's all trimmed, and it's ready to lay up on top of. And getting into this one. And this one. And I anticipate a couple hours. 4 hours later. This bag did not want to go down. The mold leaked through these little things. Predictable. But it's the first time I've actually seen it. I had to throw some bag seal tape on this, but I've got a full vacuum, or as close to a full vacuum as I'm going to get here. But yeah, I did bag it twice. I tried to save some time by reusing the bag, and that was a critical error in judgment. So, live and learn. Where the hell have you been, Cady?
Lost in the stars.
All right, Cady's mixing. We are about to laminate this baby. We have all of the prep done, and we're gonna make this. And here we go. It's 1 o'clock on the 30th of October, 2025.
But that's all right.
What?
It's August.
Sorry, 1 o'clock, 30th of August, 2025. In we go. Okay, 2:15. We are about done with the reinforcing plies, and the core is down. Looks like a mess, but we'll get all this cleaned up and we'll get the interior ply into place. And that was about an hour's lamination. All right. It looks good. That's 3:17, so it's straight up 2 hours. It looks good. We are making 25 inches of a possible 27. It looks good. We'll work the corners and we'll call this good. Put this on the timer for about 12 hours. All right. It's been demolded. Moment of truth. I haven't seen what the other side looks like. This side looks okay. There's some deep folds here that have to be addressed. Now, small folds that are primarily just resin, you just let that stuff go. But this stuff is too deep. I've got to address this. This is like 3/16 of an inch. What happened is that when we bagged it down, it shrank as it was compressed in. On the next one, I'm just going to have to be more diligent about getting everything patted down so that it doesn't compress quite so much. And here's the door. The lamination against the door. And this is the flange. Needs to be cleaned up, but it's okay. It's a little bit wet. It's a little bit too much resin, but here we go. And there's the door. Okay, so that white is the tape, but the door and the flange are molded completely into each other, and that part looks pretty damn good on the side that we care about. Right here is a little bit of, this is caused when the scoring on the foam doesn't conform very well. Okay, so what I'll do on the next one to address this is I'm going to double and maybe triple score this foam. It caused a little bit of print through right here. Cosmetic, no big deal. Still and fair. The part is very stiff. It is. We'll put it on the scale and weigh it, but I'm guessing 8 pounds. It's pretty big. It's about 5 feet tall. Okay, 8 pounds even with the doors. With the doors in place. That's about what we predicted. I think I was saying, I think it was Cady's exact guess. Anyway, that part looks pretty damn good. Now I'm going to go back and debond these doors and see where we are with the return flanges. Okay, that worked. A little bit more cleanup to do. The edges are as good as they're going to be when they were run with tape, so they need a little bit of love, but not very much. A little bit more than just primer, but I'll get, by the time it's all said and done, I'll have perfect registration. They're in the correct location. that is a successful part. It's not perfect, but it's successful. Got a little bit of business going on, but no showstoppers. On to the next one. Here we go again. All right, first one came out really well. Picked up some B-roll on it a couple days ago, but it's about 8 pounds. Actually, it's less. I think it's going to trim out to about 6 pounds. We can't do no better. Well, we could probably do 10 or 15% better, but fuck that. We're just going to get on with life here. Okay, so we're going to make a couple of adjustments on this one. We saw a little bit of print through on the scoring of the Divinycell foam, so I double scored it, hoping to do a little better in those areas where it doesn't want to conform to these curves. Other than that, we're pretty happy with it. We're going to try and be a little bit more conscious of our resin usage. Anyway, here we go. An hour and a half later. About ready to close the patient here. This is the full laminate. We've got our extra plies around the foam. We'll give it a little cleanup, and then we'll put the interior plies. All right, 340. Cady's working the bag.
Time to make the donuts.
We're trying to get as much compression as we can into the corners, making sure that we're working them in without, compromising the bag. We've got 27 inches, and looks good. We're just about as good as we can make this thing. Starting to pull resin. We've got really good compression. We'll see you in the morning. Okay, those are done. They're not perfect, but they'll fly. I've got some cosmetic repairs to do here where I didn't get a real great compression into the lower skin through the foam, probably just due to the foam not conforming perfectly. That happens sometimes. This one is the same problem. The foam did not conform to this corner. It did a lot better on this side. But this side is going to require me injecting some thin micro mix back there to make sure I've got contact, because I can do this and distend that skin. So that has to be addressed and rework, and I've got some cosmetics, but overall I'd say about 85 to 90% nice part, but will require a little bit of extra credit. Now on to these. Got to trim these doors down. These doors will get trimmed somewhere about right there. I have some dimensions I pulled off the computer. I'm also going to round the corners. It just makes more sense. Keep people from cutting themselves on these hard carbon edges. I'll round these probably an inch radius. And then I will lay these up. All the materials are all prepped on the table over here. So my next move is to trim these to their final, get them taped into place, and then get on with it. Once these are done, rollover structure and the canopy. Looking forward to those.